of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is officially called to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Eves. Present. Trustee Lilly.
Present.
Trustee Dunlap. Trustee Blakey.
Present.
Trustee Clark. Trustee Marshall.
Present.
We have a quorum. Thank you. Is there anyone here tonight that is interested in addressing the board? If so, you may come forward now. All right, if not, we'll move on. Is there a motion to approve minutes dated October 8th, 2024?
So move.
Motion by Marshall, supported by Clark. Roll call.
Eves.
Yes.
Lilly.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark. Marshall.
Yes.
That motion carries. We'll now move on to our standing committee reports. We will start with Public Works tonight. In lieu of a Public Works report, ComEd is coming forward to offer their annual report. Please welcome Bonita Estelle.
Thank you so much, Mayor Curry, all the members of the board. I am excited and delighted to be here. Some faces I recognize, some are new, so thank you for allowing me to be here with you all this evening. Every year we have an annual report where we sit down with the leaders of our various communities, be them mayors or presidents, and we review what we've done in town from a ComEd perspective, answer questions, and just work towards building a good working relationship. You all know you have an amazing mayor, right? She is so amazing. I've seen her do so many wonderful things since she's been in office. I continue to applaud all of her hard work. And one of the things that she said this year after I shared the annual report with her was, you know what? Our general public needs to know about this. Our board needs to know about this. Why don't you come to one of the board meetings and share? So here I am. I'll run through this as quickly as possible. So the very first thing that I typically like to share with individuals, and DeLorean is helping me drive. I'm gonna come over and help her real quick. It looks like she got one little thing stuck. All right, I'll put it on. All right, it's on the board so you all can follow along with me. Some of the things that I hope to cover with you all tonight is to review your SAFE and KATIE. And SAFE basically is the index that talks about how frequent you have interruptions. KATIE is the index that talks about the duration of those interruptions. I'll talk a bit about your systems improvements, tell you a bit about the energy efficiency, and then close with some of our customer resources. And I'm gonna move quickly because it looks like you all have a full room, which means you have other things on the agenda besides me. So what you have in front of you is the index that shows what your frequency of interruptions has been like, and it gives you a recap from 2007 clear through 2023. And I am thrilled to announce 2023 is by far, that's the chart that's all the way to the right, is the best on record that we've had. Right now, our reliability in the village of Linwood is at 99.99%. You're below the ComEd benchmark, you're below the regional benchmark, and I'm proud to tell you that you have great reliability out here. Next slide, please. The duration of interruptions is the next grid that you'll see. Again, 2007 on the left, clear through 2023 on the right. Your duration is right at 125 minutes, which is roughly 2 hours, 60 minutes in an hour, roughly 2 hours. And oftentimes when the duration's a little bit higher, what that tells me is that you all have a fair amount of underground cable, because it does take us a little longer on underground, or you have a lot of trees, because it takes us a little longer to restore when there are trees involved. But again, 2 hours is not really bad in comparison to what I've seen in some areas. And that's litter at the very top that you see in gold, that's the storm portion. So if you take that out, your duration's even better than what you see on that grid. Next slide, please. These are your durations or your interruptions by cause. Your biggest driver for 2023 was weather, followed by public, which means there was either car versus pole, car accident, or another utility was doing some kind of digging and came in contact with our electrical system. Next slide, please. Some of the improvements that were identified, you can go ahead and go to the next one. I'll call them out. This is your circuit map. So I will be referencing some of the enhancements that were made, and I'll be talking about the circuits that they were made on. I know you all can't see it real good from here, but Mayor, in your copy and any of the copies you might want to share with the board, that map will make more sense when you can see it a little closer. But we've got it, you're serviced by several grids in this area, and as I talk about some of the enhancements we've made, I will reference them by the grid that they're serviced on. So as you see the different color lines, those are the different feeders that are serviced by ComEd for the community here. All right, the next one. So that's the circuit reference that I talked about a moment ago, all the way to the left. And essentially what you see on this page, which again, I'm very proud of because in many areas, we might have a half page or a quarter page. You all have a full page of different underground cables that we replaced in the community. We look at your performance and where we see there's opportunities to enhance it, we begin to replace in our equipment. And here's an example of all the various areas where we replaced cable. We also did some other maintenance. You can go ahead, I'm trying to move quick. Oh, I do want to pause at distribution automation. Go back, because this is a really important one for the public to know. So what we've been doing over the past 10 years or so is also trying to not only enhance our equipment, not only replace it with new equipment, but also make it more technologically astute. And one of the devices that we use for that is this device called distribution automation. And what distribution automation allows us to do, imagine an overhead wire that might service 800 customers. If a tree came down in your backyard, trustee, that line historically would have taken all 800 customers out of service. Now we have the ability to sectionalize where that interruption occurred, reroute everybody else, and then and it tells our guys exactly where to go, as opposed to them walking down that whole line trying to figure out where the interruption occurred. So now we're able to isolate, reroute everyone else, go exactly where we need to go to fix it, and then put everyone else back on service. The reason I wanted to elaborate on this is because you may see some flickering now. You may see, oh my goodness, why did my lights just dim and then, get back bright? In those instances, you would have historically had a full-blown outage. Oftentimes when you see that dimming for a moment that goes back bright, that's distribution automation working and preventing you from having a full-blown outage. So we've, last year alone, we installed 3 of those. We have another 1 or so that we're installing in 2024, but even the years prior, every year we're installing more and more distribution automation. These are this is your vegetation management. One of the other things that ComEd does only on our primary lines, not in y'all's backyard, but on our primary lines, we will also do tree trimming every 4 years, but we inspect it every 2 years. And when we come out at that 2-year inspection point, if it's overgrown, then we'll do some spot trimming. But every 4 years, we have a commitment with the ICC that we will trim around those lines to make sure that we clear them and prevent them from being so prone to limbs taking our power out. So we did approximately 11 miles in 2023, and we've got some spot trimming planned for this upcoming year. Keep in mind with some of these circuits, you all share them with surrounding communities, so I don't want anybody trying to fact check me talking about 11 miles. We're not even 11 miles long, even though you're probably, I'm sure you are, but oftentimes with some of these feeders, you're sharing them with your surrounding communities. Next slide. I want to elaborate on this one a bit. Storm tree debris. During storms, our primary objective, which I'm sure everyone in this room appreciates, is to get everyone restored as quickly as possible. As such, if a limb in your backyard takes our wire down, we're going to come, we're going to clear that limb off of our wire, we're going to reattach the wire, and we're going to leave that limb in your backyard, your side yard, or whatever yard it's in, and we're going to move on to the next outage. The responsibility for maintaining trees that are on private property is the customer's responsibility. And as such, I just want to reiterate that because oftentimes after a storm, Public Works will call me, Kenita, your guys' cousin tree lives down there and just left them in the neighbor's backyard. Yeah, that's what we do during storm. And even if it weren't storm, the ICC prohibits us from doing any trimming on private property because a lot of people don't like the way we trim trees. We trim them to be friendly with the utility wires, not to necessarily look cute. So we are prohibited from trimming private property trees, but if they're in the way of us or they're obstructing us in any way from providing reliable electricity during a storm, we're gonna cut it, drop it, keep it moving. So I wanted to highlight that. Next slide. One of the other things we do as your utility is we maintain the grass in transmission and substation areas. So any place you see those high tension power lines, ComEd does take responsibility for keeping that lawn trimmed. Here, another fun fact about Public Works, right around March, April of every year, my phone starts ringing, when y'all gonna come cut this grass? So we do have, typically our trim season is from April until October, which is the high growth season. But if there's a lot of rain, oftentimes that will slow us down or prohibit us from getting out there as frequently or on the 4-week cycle that we would like to. But do know that at some point, as soon as we're able to get out there, at least once a month, we're out there by those high tension wires trimming the grass. Next slide, please. Energy efficiency. Proud of Linwood for taking advantage of our energy efficiency programs. And for any customers who do not know, we do offer home assessments where you can have us come in and assess your home for energy efficiency. And for allowing us to come in, we usually leave some kind of gifts. It's gonna be us changing all your lights out. It's gonna be us leaving you with a programmable thermostat or a power strip. All of these are done, I like to say for free, because they really are. But we all have a small little line item on our bills where we all pay into the energy efficiency program. So the reality is, get a return on your investment, call ComEd, get an energy efficiency assessment. We'll give you a report of things you can do to help reduce your electricity bill. And in the village of Linwood, right now, 300 customers have taken advantage of that and has realized savings. But let's keep going with getting those numbers up. It looks like on the business customer side, they've saved about $209,000. I got to get you the dollar amount for the customers. I see that one's missing for residential customers. But business customers have saved about $209,000, and 3 of them have taken advantage of it. And then, of course, the LED lights that have been converted also is another way to take advantage of that. To date, we have saved about we've helped customers save about $82.4 million on their electricity bill by taking advantage of our energy efficiency program. So please take advantage of them if you haven't done so. I'm gonna fly past these next couple of slides because really they're all about our payment assistance programs. ComEd does have a broad variety of payment assistance programs, budget billing, deferred payment arrangements, and the like. Please call us at 1-800-EDISON-1 if you ever need anything associated with your bill, or if you need your due date, change because, hey, I used to get paid on the 30th, but now I get paid on the 15th, I change my due date. We will accommodate in any way we can to help with payment issues if you just call us. Next, other quick thing I want to hit on, don't be scammed. I today experienced a person, all right, on my lunch break. I wanted to get my eyelashes done so I could look cute for y'all. While I was in there, I personally witnessed 2 people coming in saying that they were with ComEd. So needless to say, that caught my attention, right? I'm like, okay, it's a lot of us, but I don't recognize them. So we just need to see your bill real quick because we want to make sure that you got the right rates. And if your rates are wrong, if you just give me your bill, I can change your rates. So I politely walked up to the counter And I said, who do you work for again? Well, we work for blah, blah, blah. I won't tell y'all. But we're one of ComEd's partners. I said, okay. Coincidentally, I work for ComEd. I don't recognize the name of that company. You all do not work with, I ain't say we, I said we trying to help ComEd. You know, they started backpedaling and all. Bottom line, I prevented that business from getting scammed. And as soon as I got in my car, I called the economic development director and the inspector and said, hey, there are two people in your town walking to all the businesses trying to get the ComEd account information. We're all about you all having choice. If you want to choose on your own another retail energy supplier, have at it. ComEd is really your delivery company. That's how we make our money, by delivering the energy. So I'm all for it. I've had different retail energy suppliers, but don't lie and say you're ComEd when you're not. So that's just one example of being scammed. But the one that I really want you all to protect yourself against is when people call you saying your electricity is going to be cut off by 5 o'clock if you don't make this payment. We've had that happen to businesses, to individuals. I've even had it happen to some of my municipalities. And so please, what I would advise you to do is hang up, call 1-800-EDISON-1 and say that you all just called me, and we will have record of it if we did. If we didn't, and first of all, we're not gonna call you and say if you don't pay your lights by 5 o'clock, we're gonna cut you off, because guess what? We can just cut you off. We've already told you in advance, we've let you know that, you know, your bill's overdue or whatever. We don't have to say, okay, this is your last chance. We don't call you and say if you don't make a payment with Bitcoin or Zelle me this money or go get a credit card and pay me by XYZ time, we're gonna cut your power off. So that's red flag number one. Red flag number two, we typically are not going to ask you for your account number because we have access to that too. We might verify that it's really you by saying, okay, tell me this, that, or the other, but that's when you call us, not when we're calling you. So be careful. Don't ask questions. When in doubt, hang up the phone and call 1-800-EDISON-1. Next slide, and we're almost at the end. I know y'all sick of hearing me. There's also scams that are coming through email and the web now, so same kind of advice, you know, when in doubt, hang up or delete the email and call us. We're not going to email you and tell you have to pay us either. Next slide. And the last thing, these are all the different ways that you can get in contact with us. The one that I want to point out the most, and I think I just heard my good friend who's a retired deputy fire chief over here share with me, is the outage alerts. You can text register to 26633. I think I'm saying that right. Yeah, 26633, and become subscribe with us for two-way text alerts. And what you can do with that into the future is if you ever have an outage, now with storms, we're usually going to know everybody that's out. But if it's just like a blue sky day and you lose power, you can text out to that number and we will reply and say, thank you for letting us know. And then we'll reply and say, a crew is en route. And then we'll reply and say, a crew is on site. And then we'll say, according to our records, we've restored your power. Please let us know if it's anything to the contrary. So this is a really good tool for you all to have to make it easy to communicate with us when you're having outages. And with that being said, I am all done. I did a very Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming out. Thank you for sharing your information.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I will share that PowerPoint with the board as well. All right. Moving on to economic development, Trustee Blakey.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Just a brief update in terms of economic development. We continue to be amazed by the number of people who are making inquiry into the village of Linwood because of the growth of our business community. Mayor Curry is going to give an update in terms of our equestrian village a bit later. But just today, I received 2 phone calls about individuals who want to build from the ground up, and we're asking about property that is available in the village of Linwood. You know, we have a grocery store that is coming. We already have the Dunkin' Donuts and several other businesses that are already established. We just did the groundbreaking for the car wash not too long ago. So very excited about all of the inquiries that are coming in as it relates to economic development. That's all I have there, Madam Mayor. May I move on to community affairs?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Many of you know that on November 5th, there's a very important election that is coming up, and I just want to encourage everyone. Our clerk has done an excellent job at getting individuals who are not already registered to vote, so that they can participate in this election. This is probably one of the most important elections that we've had in our lifetime. And I just want to encourage everyone to take advantage of this opportunity to vote on November 5th. And early voting has already started. Clerk Wingfield Bond is going to cover that in her report. But early voting is happening right next door to us in the Village of Linwood property. A few dates that I have for you. On October 26th, this coming Saturday, we're going to have a shred event. That shred event is going to be paper and electronics. That's going to happen right here in our parking lot. Electronics is going to happen between 10 and noon, and the paper is going to be between 10 and 1 p.m. So if you have any paper that needs to be shredded, bring it over on Saturday. If you have any electronics, bring it over on Saturday between 10 and noon. Next, our town hall meeting is going to happen on November the 6th at 6 p.m. That's going to be at Lencioni's. This is where we cover everything or do a synopsis of everything that has happened within the calendar year. A very good opportunity for you to hear everything that has happened, all the things that are getting ready to happen, and to ask any questions of the village board or our clerk and mayor. And then on November 7th, our tax forum is going to be right here in this room. This is where Larry Rogers comes out and his team comes out again to explain to homeowners and residents what we can do to possibly appeal taxes and get our taxes lowered. I'm sorry, at Sandridge School. The last time that we had it here in this room, the room was packed because of those tax bills that had just come out. So really want to encourage you on November 7th at Sandridge at 6 p.m. Larry Rogers is going to be there and his team to answer any of those questions and to do a presentation. And then finally on November 12th from 12 p.m. until 2 p.m. we're going to have our Veterans Day luncheon. So if you are a veteran, we encourage you to take advantage of that opportunity. That's all I have, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Planning and Zoning, Trustee Lilly.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I have nothing under planning and zoning. May I move on?
Yes.
All right. Under ordinances and resolutions, I'm looking at a motion for waive first and second read action taken. Resolution number 24-22, a resolution regarding the estimated amounts necessary to be levied by the Village of Linwood for the fiscal year commencing May 1st, 2024 and ending April 30th, 2025.
There's a motion. Is it supported? Supported. Motion by Lilly, supported by Eves. Attorney Boyle.
Yes, good evening, everyone. This is a action that's required by the property tax code as part of your tax levy process. It's the first step in that process. It's being brought to you earlier this year than usual because there's been a change in the law with the property tax code. There's now an additional notification requirement for public hearings under the Truth in Taxation Act. In order to make that deadline work under the new statute, this is an action that you're taking now in October as opposed to like November or December.
Thank you. Roll call.
Eves.
Yes.
Lilly.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
That motion carries.
All right, this last item I'm making a motion on is to waive first and second read action taken on resolution number 24-23, a resolution approving settlement agreement and release. Deontez Witherspoon versus Village of Linwood et al., case number 2023-1-005497.
There's a motion. Is it supported? Supported. Motion by Lilly, supported by Eves. Attorney Boyle.
Yes, this is a action to finalize a settlement in a vehicle pursuit case that has been resolved in amounts authorized by the village's insurance carriers.
Thank you. Roll call.
Eves.
Yes.
Lilly.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
That motion carries.
This concludes my report, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Health and Wellness, Trustee Clark.
Hi, yes, October holds a lot of national awareness. The main one is World Mental Health Month. Then we go on to National Domestic Violence Awareness, Breast Cancer Awareness, National Economic Education Month, and Financial Planning. National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. There are free games on the internet to help you keep your computers and phones secure. Caffeine Addiction Recovery Month, Church Safety and Security Month, Down Syndrome Awareness Month, Dyslexia Awareness Month, and it is Latino, Filipino, Polish, German American, and Italian American Heritage Month. Also Halloween Safety Month, LGBT History Month, and that will conclude my report.
Thank you. Finance, Trustee Eves.
Good evening, Madam Mayor.
Good evening.
Residents. Motion to approve bill payment memo 1509. Total cash disbursement $345,485.90, which includes payroll for the period of September 29th, 2024 through October 12th, 2024, in the total amount of $206,792.74.
There's a motion. Is it supported?
Support.
Motion by Eves, supported by Lilly. Roll call.
Eves.
Yes.
Lilly.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
That motion carries.
And that concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Public Safety, Trustee Marshall.
I don't have a report, Madam Mayor, but I definitely want to take this time to commend the new commander, Mr. Dustin Warren. Well deserved, so I look forward to your swearing in. That's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. We'll now move on to our standing department reports, beginning with our Police Department. Chief Thomas.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Our stats since our last meeting, so 217 traffic stops, 8 arrests, 1 gun recovered, 516 building checks, 10 domestic incidents, 147 ordinance violations, 1,181 calls for service. We are currently, between now and November 1st, are conducting our Halloween campaign. So our officers will be ensuring that our registered sex offenders and our registered violent offenders against youth will be in compliance. So then will be a safe place to trick or treat. Our annual Veterans Day luncheon will be held November 12th from 12 o'clock p.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. at Lencioni's. This is give us opportunity to acknowledge our veterans. We encourage all of our veterans to come out. You must RSVP by contacting Commander Weinbrecht at 708-758-4744. We also will be conducting our annual food drive and toy drive. You can drop off non-perishables between now and November 14th here at the Police Department, as well as toys for our toy drive between now and December 11th. And that ends my report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. We'll now have our Fire Department report provided by DC.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have a call activity report for the times from October 8th through October 21st. We had 64 medical calls, 1 carbon monoxide alarm, 1 vehicle accident, 6 mutual aid calls, 2 smoke investigations, 1 natural gas call, 2 fire alarms, 1 rubbish fire, and 1 vehicle fire, for a total of 79 calls for that 2-week period. I'd also like to let you know we had our fire prevention open house on October 12th. We had a really good turnout. We're estimating close to 100 people came. We had a bounce house for the children. We had vehicle extrication demonstration, and the University of Chicago medical helicopter came and paid us a visit as well. That's all I have, Mayor.
It was a great event. Thank you, DC. We'll now move on to Public Works. Director Garcia.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no waterman breaks to report since our last meeting. Our chipper crew is still out collecting branches, so I just ask all of our residents to just be patient as we go out throughout town and pick up branches. My tree trimming crew is still out as well. We've cut over 40 trees as of right now. We still got a long way to go, so again, just be patient as we go throughout town. We've also repaired 2 street lights. My ditch mower should be finishing up cutting all the ditches this week. So as of right now, Burnham, Torrance, and Stony Island are complete. Public Works will be doing another round of restoration prior to the winter. So if you have any type of dirt in front of you guys' home because of our excavating, we'll be going around to make sure that we cover that up for you guys before the winter. And then we also started filling in more potholes. And that ends my report.
Thank you. Village Engineer, Mrs. McPherson.
Yes, good evening. Quick update on the bike pedestrian plan study that we're working on for the village. The next step in that process is the sidewalk evaluation program. So within the next few weeks, you may see a few guys outside your homes taking a closer look at the sidewalk, documenting the current condition of them, which will ultimately create this program that will help the village and Public Works create a maintenance schedule for the sidewalks. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Finance Director, Mrs. Switterick.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no report.
Building Director, Ms. Hurley.
Yes, Madam Mayor. The number of permits issued from October the 9th, 2024 to October the 22nd, 2024 were 17 with a total of $4,794. We are now winding down on our permit season, so we look forward to catching up on registrations of rentals, registration of compliance inspections for those rentals, and some of the other things that we can now give more attention now that we're winding down on the permit season. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Attorney Boyle.
No report.
Madam Clerk.
Yes, first I wanted to piggyback off of what Trustee Blakey mentioned about voting. This is extremely important. Please go out and vote. Early voting has begun. It started yesterday. And we have early voting at the L building right behind here at 21490 Lincoln Highway. The hours are from 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. I'm sorry, 5 p.m. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. And this is occurring from now until November 4th. I also want to say if you have requested a vote by mail ballot, you can bring them into any early voting site. There are 53 suburban locations, but you can also bring them into ours as well. And if you want to mail it, it has to be postmarked no later than the day of election, which is November 5th. So I just want to make that announcement. Also, I wanted to offer, on behalf of the Village of Linwood, I want to offer condolences to Lori Wilcox. Lori Wilcox was the former clerk and collector for the city of Chicago Heights, and she passed, and so she will be missed. She was also the Bloom Township Committee woman. She passed last week. She will be missed amongst her family and the clerk family as well. And then I would like to swear in our new commander.
Commander Dustin Warren, will you please step forward? Tonight, Commander Warren will be pinned by his grandfather, Mr. Hugh Richardson. Granddad, will you come forward? There you go.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
Dustin Warren,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the
of the
Constitution
State of Illinois,
of the State of
and
Illinois,
that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully
the
discharge
duties of
the duties
the
of
office of
the office of
Commander
Commander
for the Village of Linwood
for the Village of Linwood
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
you, sir. All right. Appreciate you.
Make it official. Yep, right there. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good things.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Commander. Good man.
And that concludes my report.
I just have to acknowledge the commander's wife because she's doing what every good police wife would do, and she has on her blue.
All right.
Thank you. All right, I just have a few things to share, and then we will adjourn. Trustee Blakey mentioned the grocery store. They will have their final inspection this week. They are in the process of ordering goods. They estimate it'll take about 2 more weeks to be fully stocked, and then we will have our ribbon cutting, and we will no longer be a food desert. So please be on the lookout for the ribbon cutting. Come out and support them then, but continue to support them so that they are a thriving business. The one thing that Trustee didn't mention regarding the Shred event is that is being hosted by Representative Evans. So we want to thank Representative Evans in advance for bringing his team out on Saturday. Also, one thing to note, you can only bring 1 television and 1 bag of paperwork to be shredded. So please don't show up in a U-Haul. Please don't go and get your aunt and your cousins and everyone. So it will not work. 1 and 1. I do want to congratulate Rhoda Signs on a successful 70th anniversary event. They held a gathering last Friday at their facility, and they offered tours. Rhoda is doing some amazing work. They have contracts with Chicago Bears and several large entities that I wasn't even aware of. And so if you ever get a chance, stop by there and take a tour. It's a pretty amazing place, but 70 years is worth celebrating. I do want to thank DC and Chief Alston on a magnificent open house. This was the most well-attended open house that we have had in the village of Linwood, and they did an outstanding job, so a round of applause for them. I want to also acknowledge our friends at the Center for Islamic Teaching. They held their inauguration ceremony at the American Muslim Cemetery, and they were just so extremely grateful for what the Village of Linwood has done for them in offering them a safe space where they can peacefully and respectfully bury their loved ones. So to our residents that have welcomed them, their sense of pride in Linwood, it almost exceeded ours, I think, but they're grateful, and we are grateful to have them. If you haven't driven by there, it's just on Joe Orr Road. Please take a look. It's a beautiful grounds, and there's a beautiful building over there. I am happy to report about this Equestrian University. Many of you have asked. We've had many start-stops. They had an unfortunate death and an unfortunate heart attack, and so they had to restart with their engineer and their architect, but they have final plans. Brittany has the plan. She's been working with their team. She sent over the MWRD permits for me to sign off on, I believe, yesterday. So we have signed off on that. That project is finally moving forward. So we are anticipating by spring that you will see some buildings up. So stay tuned. I want to share with our residents and this board, our clerk and our department heads, that I was invited by the House Transportation Committee as well as the Senate Transportation Committee to offer testimony regarding the transportation challenges of the Southland. And what I really appreciated about them is their deep concern and their desire to understand what is unique. If you've never been in Linwood, you don't know that we have one bus route. You don't know the challenges for our residents to get from one side of town to the other. So we're able to offer clarity. They now understand how it's not easy if you're on public transportation to get from Linwood to Orland Square Mall. We talked about micro transit. We talked about bike paths and walking paths. And so they are taking a unique interest in the Southland. I was grateful to offer that testimony. If anyone would like a copy of my testimony, I do have it and would be happy to share. I want to thank Commissioner Donna Miller. She came out last week to honor Officer Michael Johnson. If you will recall, Officer Johnson received a Purple Heart for being injured in a shooting that took place in Ford Heights, and so she also delivered a copy for us to keep here at the Village of Linwood. The resolution from Cook County, it is on behalf of her and President Preckwinkle. So thank you, Commissioner Miller, for acknowledging the hard work and bravery of Officer Johnson. You've heard me talk about the Build Up Cook project, where Cook County is investing dollars in a renovation for this building as well as our pump houses. They were here this week. Was it this week or last week? Last week maybe. Met with Sam and Delora, did their final walkthroughs, took measurements, and so we are now at the point where we will start scheduling some dates to Hi, Commander. Where we will schedule some dates to have them come out, and we'll be reconfiguring some things here at Village Hall to accommodate this. But it's a great project. It's going to give us a much-needed facelift, and Cook County is investing a significant amount of money into the Village of Linwood, and we're ever so grateful. These are dollars that we did not have, and they're choosing to invest in us. That is all that I have. I'm ready to celebrate with this new commander. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Supported.
Motion by Marshall, supported by Clark. Roll call.
Reeves.
Yes.
Lilly.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
That motion carries. We are officially adjourned.